Attention passionate Kansas City CHIFS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Kansas City Chiefs' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Kansas City Chiefs fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Kansas City CHIFS FANS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Today we're diving deep into a story that's been making waves around the NFL, especially among Chiefs fans. It's about a player who, over the past couple of seasons, has been a key part of that formidable Kansas City defense. A linebacker who's shown flashes of brilliance and reliability, but now finds himself in a bit of a tricky spot. We're talking about Drue Tranquill. Yes, the linebacker who landed in Kansas City back in 2021, initially as a backup, but quickly proved his worth when given the chance, especially after an injury to Nick Bolton. Tranquill has become a familiar face at the heart of that Chiefs defense, and his story over the last couple of seasons is really interesting, full of ups and downs, and it might just be heading into a new chapter. So let's set the scene. Tranquill, a fourth-round pick in the 2019 NFL Draft out of Notre Dame, arrived with some modest expectations, but quickly made a name for himself with his hustle, tackling ability, and football IQ. During his rookie season, he was more of a rotational player, backing up then-starting middle linebacker Nick Bolton. But an injury to Bolton in 2022 opened the door for Tranquill to step into a starting role, and he didn't disappoint. Last season, he racked up 94 tackles, which is nothing to scoff at. That's a solid number, especially considering the Chiefs' defensive scheme that relies heavily on versatile linebackers who can cover, stop the run, and contribute to pass rushes. But here's where things get complicated. Despite his production, Tranquill is now in a situation where he needs to continue improving if he wants to secure a new contract with Kansas City. The team has not yet made a definitive move to re-sign him, and reports suggest that his future with the Chiefs is somewhat uncertain. It's not that he's been a disappointment, far from it, but in the NFL, especially with a team like the Chiefs that's always looking to optimize their roster, every player's future hinges on constant performance and the team's strategic needs. And Tranquill's performance, while commendable, might need to take that extra step to secure his spot beyond this season. Now some fans might be wondering, wait, are the Chiefs actually considering trading him? That's a good question. Historically, Kansas City isn't known for trading away key players just for the sake of it, especially someone who's been reliable like Tranquill. The team has built a strong linebacker core, with Nick Bolton anchoring the middle and other versatile players filling in. However, as with any NFL team, roster moves are part of the game. The Chiefs did bring in linebacker Joshua Uch last season in an attempt to bolster that unit, but Uch's impact was limited, and he didn't fully live up to expectations. That might hint at the team's openness to exploring options outside of Uch, especially if they believe they can get a valuable draft pick or some other asset in return for Tranquill. This brings us to the potential trade destinations. And yes, you heard right. There are several teams that could be interested in Tranquill, especially considering he's in his contract year. Now, let's analyze some of these teams, starting with the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, after losing some key pieces on defense this offseason, are looking for help, especially in the linebacker core. They've already made some moves in the trenches, adding Davon Godchaux, but their pass rush and linebacker depth remain areas of concern. With the departure of Willie Gay Jr., they need someone who can step in and make an immediate impact, someone who can help them contend in a division that's fiercely competitive. Tranquill could be a perfect fit in New Orleans, reuniting with Justin Reid, a safety he played alongside in the past, and bringing veteran leadership and stability to the Saints' defense. Plus, with their cap space being somewhat limited, a one-year deal for Tranquill could be an attractive option for both parties, giving the Saints a reliable linebacker and Tranquill a chance to showcase his skills for a bigger contract next offseason. Then there's the Washington Commanders, a team that's been in a bit of a rebuild mode on defense. They lost Dante Fowler Jr., one of their key pass rushers, to the Dallas Cowboys. That leaves a hole on the edge and in the linebacker unit. Washington's defense is trying to find its identity, and adding a player like Tranquil could bring some much-needed experience and versatility. The Commanders have some good pieces in Frankie Louvu and Bobby Wagner, but their defense still needs that extra spark, especially on the pass rush and coverage sides. Tranquil, although not the youngest linebacker in the league, still has enough in the tank to make an immediate impact. His ability to play multiple roles, cover, stop the run, rush the passer, fits perfectly with what Washington is trying to build. They're aiming for a high-caliber defense that can carry the team, and Tranquil could be that missing piece, especially if they want to upgrade their linebacker side without breaking the bank. Now, moving on to a more controversial but highly plausible option, the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers, after releasing Joey Bosa, are still desperate to find that complementary pass rusher on the other side of Khalil Mack. Tranquil, with his pass-rushing ability and tackling prowess, could serve as a hybrid linebacker who can rush the passer and drop into coverage. Given that the Chargers are always in win-now mode, adding a player like Tranquil could give them that extra edge, especially in a division that features potent offenses like the Chiefs, Raiders, and Broncos. The Chargers have a lot of young talent on offense, and their defense needs to keep up if they want to make a real playoff push. Tranquil's experience and versatility make him a strong candidate for that role, and a trade could benefit both sides. Kansas City could get some draft capital, and Los Angeles gets a solid linebacker to help them compete at a high level. Lastly, we can't forget about the Carolina Panthers. After a couple of offseason moves, including drafting Bryce Young and revamping their offense, the Panthers are also looking to bolster their defense. They've brought in free agents like Christian Roseboom and have some promising young players, but they're still searching for that reliable veteran presence who can stabilize the linebacker position. Tranquil could fit nicely into their scheme, providing leadership and stability. Carolina's defense has some talent, but they need a player who can step in and immediately contribute, and Tranquil fits that mold. Plus, with the Panthers trying to build a competitive team around their young quarterback, having a solid defense is crucial, and Tranquil could be a key piece in that puzzle. So, what does all this mean for the Kansas City Chiefs? Well, first, it's important to understand that Kansas City values loyalty and continuity, and they rarely make moves that disrupt their core. But at the same time, they are always looking for ways to improve, especially when it comes to maintaining their Super Bowl contender status. Tranquil's situation is a classic example of the NFL's business side, players who perform well but might be on the bubble due to contract or team-building needs. If the Chiefs decide to keep him, it'll be because they see him as an essential part of their future plans, and his continued development is vital. But if they do decide to part ways, it could be a strategic move to accumulate draft picks and cap space, especially as they prepare for the next phase of their championship window. Looking at the bigger picture, the Chiefs' roster is stacked, especially on offense, with Patrick Mahomes leading the charge, supported by a talented cast of receivers, tight ends, and an improving offensive line. The defense, historically their weaker side, has been steadily improving under the guidance of coordinators like Steve Spagnuolo. Adding a versatile linebacker like Tranquil could be the final piece to solidify that unit, but as always, the decision will depend on many factors: performance in training camp, injuries, the team's strategic direction, and of course, the offers they might receive from other teams. And let's not forget, this isn't just about filling a roster spot. It's about the bigger picture of building a team capable of not just winning games, but winning championships. The AFC West is no joke. It's perhaps the most competitive division in the NFL. The Chiefs are up against teams like the Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders, and the Los Angeles Chargers, all of whom are making moves, drafting well, and trying to dethrone Kansas City. So any roster adjustment, especially involving a player like Tranquil, could have ripple effects across the division and even the entire conference. Now, as a Chiefs fan, you might be asking, what do I think about all this? Is Tranquil really on the trading block? Should the team move him if the right offer comes along? Honestly, it's a complicated situation. Tranquil has been a dependable player, and losing him would be a blow to the depth and experience of the defense. But if the Chiefs can maximize value in a trade, perhaps draft picks or a young player, they might consider it, especially if they believe that other players or rookies can step up. Plus, the strategic flexibility is always a priority for this organization. They're not afraid to make tough decisions if it benefits the team's long-term success. And let's remember, the NFL is a league of constant change. What seems like a certainty today might be different tomorrow. Tranquil's future with the Chiefs depends on many factors: his performance in training camp, his health, team needs, and the offers they receive. But one thing is for sure: the Chiefs are always in the mix, always looking ahead, always trying to stay one step ahead of the competition. They've built a championship culture, and every move they make reflects that relentless pursuit of excellence. So, fans, keep your eyes peeled. Whether Tranquil stays or moves on, it's clear that Kansas City's roster management will be a hot topic in the coming weeks. The team's front office is known for their shrewd decisions, and they'll do everything possible to keep the team competitive, aiming for yet another Super Bowl appearance. Remember, the NFL is a league of surprises, and sometimes a move that seems minor can have huge consequences. That's part of what makes following this team so exciting. The passion, the drama, the strategic battles, everything that makes the Chiefs who they are. And now, Kansas City Chiefs fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on Drew Tranquil? Do you believe he's a player they should keep at all costs, or do you think a trade might be the best move for the team's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Chiefs community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more news, and everything you need to stay on top of your favorite team. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep this Chiefs family growing strong. Because at the end of the day, it's all about that shared love for Kansas City, that unbreakable bond, and the relentless pursuit of another Super Bowl victory. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Chiefs.